So, you've got that big trip planned for 2026, right? Awesome. But here's the thing, your biggest headache might not be the flights or the hotels. Nope, it could be renewing your passport online. The new system is supposed to be better, more secure, but honestly, for a lot of people, it's just a huge source of stress. So let's break down how you can get through it without pulling your hair out. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You think about dealing with government websites, all those complicated forms, and you just get this sinking feeling in your stomach? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. It's one of those things that's just incredibly stressful. And you know what? There's a really good reason for that. I mean, what are the things we worry about? Maybe it's picking the wrong form, right? DS-11 versus DS-82. Oops. Or you spend an hour getting that perfect digital photo only to have it rejected by some faceless computer algorithm. And don't even get me started on what happens if you've changed your name recently. It's this whole bureaucratic maze. And all the while, you're thinking about identity theft, and that vacation date just keeps getting closer and closer. Look, that anxiety, it's not just you. It's actually kind of built into the system itself. So before we can even talk about the solution, we've got to unpack what's really going on here. So yeah, your anxiety is totally valid. Because think about it, this isn't like filling out a magazine subscription. Regulators have this term for it. They call it your money or your life data, or YMYL for short. And that basically means it's your most sensitive, high-stakes personal info. The kind of stuff that, if it gets messed up, has huge consequences. And that's exactly why all the rules are so incredibly strict. Okay, and this right here, this is pretty much the heart of the problem. You've got two completely separate government agencies. On one hand, the Department of State, they handle your passport. On the other, the Social Security Administration, they're in charge of your legal name and identity. And for the longest time, their computer systems just didn't talk to each other at all. And that created this massive headache for, well, pretty much everyone. Now, this whole mess isn't new. But the way we're supposed to deal with it is. I mean, remember before 2021? You had to physically mail everything in. Talk about risky. Lost documents, delays. Then an executive order came down to create a secure online system. That led to a couple of years of testing, and now here we are in 2026 with a full rollout. And yeah, it's definitely more secure, but it's brought a whole new set of digital complexities with it. And hey, don't just take my word for it. A federal policy analyst absolutely nailed it when they said this. The historical disconnect between these two databases has created significant friction. I mean, that's just a perfect way to describe the root cause of so many of these delays and frustrations. All right, so we get it. The problem is these two systems that don't talk to each other combine with super sensitive data. But just knowing that isn't enough. To really solve this, we need to change how we think about the whole process. It all starts with one simple but absolutely critical mental shift. Here it is. We have to stop thinking of this as just another travel chore, like booking the rental car or buying sunscreen. It's not on that list. It's way, way more important than that. So what is it then? We need to start calling it what it is, a critical legal identity procedure. Think about that for a second. You are officially verifying and updating your core legal identity with the US government. Once you see it as a security process, not a travel booking, everything all starts to click into place. That's step one. And speaking of getting things right, let's just clear this one up real fast because it trips a lot of people up. DS-11, that's for your very first passport. You got to show up in person for that. DS-82, that's for renewals. That's the one we're talking about, and that's the one you can now do online. Simple, right? Okay, so now that we've made that mental shift, it's not a travel chore, it's a security procedure. We can actually build a plan, a compliance-first framework. These are the literal step-by-step instructions to get you through this thing without any drama. Okay, look at this number, 18%. What is that? Well, according to the data, that's how many renewal applications get stuck in limbo, delayed or put on hold for one simple reason, a name mismatch between the two government databases. That is a huge number of people, and here's the kicker. It's almost completely avoidable. And that right there, that brings us to what might be the single most important thing you'll hear today. If you want to avoid being in that 18%, it all comes down to one word: sequence. The order of your actions is everything. It's not just what you do, it's when you do it. So what is this magic sequence? It's actually super simple. Just 3 steps. Step 1, and listen up because this is the big one. You have have to update your name with the Social Security Administration first before anything else. Step 2, you wait. Seriously, just wait until you get official confirmation that their databases are all synced up. And only then, only after you get that confirmation, do you go to step 3, which is filing your DS-82 passport renewal. And trust me, the stakes here are really high. We're not just talking about a minor inconvenience. One immigration attorney put it this way: getting the sequence wrong can actually trigger federal fraud flags. That could mean months and months of delays. So when they say the legal order is non-negotiable, they mean it.
So let's flip it. What happens when you do follow the correct legal sequence? What does that success actually look and feel like?
Well, what you're essentially doing is taking this intimidating, confusing, bureaucratic monster and you're taming it. You're turning it into a series of safe, logical, totally manageable steps. You're not just a victim of the process anymore, you are in complete control. Your journey basically follows this path. You start out over here with all that anxiety and confusion, but then you move into understanding how the system really works. Then you follow the sequence we just talked about, and that leads you to the best part, feeling confident and, ultimately, getting that passport approved. But wait, what about that other big fear, identity theft? A privacy ethics expert weighed in on this, and they were crystal clear. Using the official government portals is the only way to guarantee your super sensitive data is protected by federal-grade encryption. So please, no third-party sites. Stick to the official ones. It is absolutely the safest way to go.
And this is why we're doing all this. This is the goal. It was never just about getting a new booklet with your picture in it. It's about having officially verified identity credentials that let you travel safely, securely, and completely stress-free wherever you want to go in the world.
And really, that's the whole point. You follow the rules of this critical procedure, and you get to have secure, stress-free travel. It's that simple. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. Your passport. It's more than just a ticket to get on a plane. It's one of the most powerful proofs of your legal identity. So the question is, in this crazy digital world we live in, are you really doing everything you can to protect it?